Yo, 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 hit 'em high, hit 'em low. Welcome to the No Bull Just Ball podcast. It is your boy Nick Hughes, as always, alongside Alex Delgado. How's it going, sir?
What it do? What it do? How we doing today?
We're doing good. We're coming live on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes, yes. Some would not encourage this, but
Yeah,
we're
no, it's a
here
weird
and we're
time.
doing it.
I'm just I'm of the belief that, if we're going to bring baseball back into the fold during this lockout, what better time than to go head to head with the biggest sporting event of the year? What better
Right?
time?
Exactly.
And what if people are watching the Super Bowl and are like, you know what? This is too much football for me. I need some baseball content.
Yep,
It makes
and that's where
sense.
we fall in.
Exactly. It
And
just
we're sorry.
exactly. All right. So for the show today, all right. So we're gonna go trade bait game, which is very simple. Last week we talked about the remaining free agents who are out there. Now we're gonna get into more of the guys who are on team currently. The question is, will they still be there by opening day? Once we hit sort of the end of the lockout, that sort of mad dash, I think that we're all expecting, from the end of the lockout to whenever they're going to say spring training's getting set to go. Where do we see these guys at? And we're going to start with, our lead off here, and we're going to go with the biggest of names. All right. So these are the guys who I think are at the forefront of minds when it comes to trades this winter. And on top of it, these are the guys who, are, I mean, they're we got all-star talent, on the block. So we're going to start things off, and I'll let you take the first swing on this one. It's going to be Jose Ramirez from the Cleveland Guardians. So
I won't be able to get used to that. Sorry, guys.
yeah, it's
Give
gonna
me at
it's gonna
least
take some
3 years.
time. It's gonna take some time.
All right. So Jose Ramirez. Um, by the start of the season, I believe he is still with the Guardians.
Oh, okay.
I think they keep him until the trade deadline.
All right.
I think that's when they'll try to move him, and I feel like that's when the Guardians think they'll probably get the best for their buck.
Interesting.
Kind
Interesting.
of see where they're at in the standings, and then I think that's where they'll make the play. I mean, it's a very winnable Central.
For sure. No, I don't disagree with you on that. I think there are too many divisions right now in baseball that feel winnable to a lot of teams.
Yes.
I look at it and I say every division in the AL, East feels winnable, or AL altogether feels winnable. The AL East, Central, and West, for those sort of upper echelon of teams, within that division, for example. East you have the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Rays, the Blue Jays. In the Central, yeah, the White Sox are the top dogs, but we've seen now the Tigers making moves. The Twins had a bad year, but could theoretically still be Indians feel. Out west, everyone now feels like they're
Yeah.
under the A's, and in the East, for the National League, same deal. It's essentially everybody except the National. In the Central, the Brewers have that division kind of on lock, but the Cardinals are there. And then out west, it's a top three of
Yeah.
Power. I feel like there's enough teams feel like they can win, and they're going to push the issue with not exactly a huge crop of game changing talent left in the free agent pool. And for Jose Ramirez in particular, I see him joining the Seattle Mariners.
Ooh, I like that. That was one of my teams that I think he would go to.
Okay, so it was for me. It came down to two teams. Honestly, it
Mhm.
was be either the Blue Jays or the Mariners. And ultimately, I feel like the Mariners. We know they're in on Chris Bryant. We know they need a third baseman. Um, and I just couldn't see a better fit in my head in terms of a team who's on the precipice of doing something, feels the urge to really talent. So it just in my head it just made sense, and yeah. So Jose Ramirez to the Seattle Mariners before the start of this.
I actually
Like,
also had him Washington by the trade deadline.
ooh, I mean,
Be good.
the only thing with Washington is that You're thinking they take a huge leap very fast.
very fast, and they did it
Okay.
once before. And I'm just
Okay.
saying that's the end of summer trade deadline.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
We'll see what
All right.
happens.
Oh, for sure. So next up, we're going to go to the pair of Matts in Oakland, Matt Olson, Matt Chapman. And quite frankly, I'm just going to get the ball rolling here. I have them both being moved to the same division.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So Olson to the Yankees,
Okay.
Chapman to the Blue Jays.
Oh,
For the Yankees, the fit is obvious. They need a first baseman. We're unsure, they're in on Freeman. Rizzo seems to be option C kind of thing at the moment. It's Freeman, Olson, Rizzo. I think they sort of land in the middle there with Olson once Freeman, we both expected him to re-sign with the Braves. But, Olson for me is going to be a Yankee. The fit is absolutely there. And then when you look at Toronto, yes, their bigger need is definitely a bullpen right now. However, when you're looking at how their lineup shakes out, their position players and everything, I think you can go the second base or you can go the third base for them. I think right now you get Matt Chapman, Gold Glover over at third base. Move Kevin Biggio to the position his father played. Craig Biggio, the Hall of Famer, over at second. And now you have quite possibly the best infield in baseball. That's a strong team right there, and I think both the Yankees and the Blue Jays have the prospect to make those moves, give Oakland what it's looking for. Your turn. Go ahead.
all right. Cool. I had Matt Olson going to the Yankees. Yankees make a huge play if everything comes together with
For
this
sure.
lockout. And then Chapman. Now Chapman, he's been in Oakland a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oakland actually hangs on to him to sell some tickets, and then
Ooh,
they
okay.
trade up. They use him in the trade deadline because I think he'll
Okay.
have a stronger year than he did last year. The
For
last
sure.
couple of years he hasn't been hitting like he used to. The Gold Glove's still there,
Yeah.
but I think Oakland holds on to Chapman, and I think because they won't get as much as they should for Olson, I think the Yankees kind of get a steal for him from Oakland. They don't have
Okay.
to give up too much. And I think they realize that come May, and they're like, okay, this is when we'll use Chapman to get a
Yeah.
better deal, get
Gotcha. Okay.
value.
Okay. I like that. I like that. All right. So then we're going to move on now to the center field options. And we're going to start with Brian Reynolds, Pittsburgh Pirates switch hitting center fielder, who's been circulating quickly. And he's been making the rounds, I think, in terms of good rumors since the All-Star break, I think, when we
Yeah.
were getting a lot out of him and stuff. I'm going to get this one kicked off. And there's a team that has been linked to him repeatedly. It's a team who needs an outfield. In particular, they need a center fielder. The switch hitting works, and it's a team who needs a lot of offense. And I'm going to say the Miami Marlins are a team who has, again, the prospect capital to get it done. They have an overabundance of young pitchers that they can chip up to Berg and sort of create the system kind of deal. Down the road. But for me, it's an easy fit. They have the need, they have the means to make it happen, and the desire to start, contending in a very, very hotly contended NL East. So I think that's going to be the.
Nice. Now with Brian Reynolds, I know they've been back and forth, and his name's been circulating a lot for a long time. But this is also another one I feel Pittsburgh hangs on. I think they'll field a lot of calls and they will almost pull the trigger, but I think they won't like the deals at all. I think they'll wait, hold on to him for a little bit. They do control still a lot of contract. So I think they do hold on. I think he's traded before the trade deadline. I think he gets moved like around Mother's Day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Happy birthday, Mama. You're moving. All right. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
So next up, and this is going to be sort of our last big name here to talk about, and we're going to go with Ketel Marte from the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's a guy who I think the added intrigue is the fact that he can play second base, shortstop, probably third, can play all over the outfield. He's a very versatile guy. Um, for me, though, it is the center field part of this that I'm most intrigued with. And the fact that I think his asking price is going to be the asking price Diamondbacks have for Ketel Marte would be slightly less than what the Pirates would be looking for with Brian Reynolds. I think Ketel Marte is more likely to get moved first. And I have him also joining New York Yankees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was really going back and forth on this one, but I think for a team like the Yankees who needs a lot of help up the middle, you need the consistency and the versatility of a guy who can, you have Aaron Hicks in center, you can rest him or inevitably, think that he's going to go down for a stretch. You got a guy who can slot in there. You got a guy who can play some shortstop base, spell those guys. I think it's a good fit, switch hitting, athletic, is the hot word right now for the Yankees in terms of what they're looking to do. So makes sense in my head. Good fit. Again, the asking price will be a little bit less, I think, than what Brian Reynolds would be worth. So, it's an easy transition, I think.
Yes. See, I think the Yankees make the play for Reynolds. I think they do. And that's why I said around Mother's Day, I think that's when they'll try to bring him in, realize, yeah, we need a center fielder. But with Ketel Marte, I actually see him going to a central team, either in the NL or the AL. In the AL, I feel like he could go to the Twins right off. I think it'll be one of the first trades out there.
Okay.
The Twins or the Brewers.
Oh, I like that a lot. I like the Brewers for him too.
Yes, I do like the Brewers. I think they make a strong play, and I think the Brewers are trying to get serious.
No, for sure. I think the hard thing for me with the Brewers, and I'm looking up and down my list, I have them as a team who wants almost all of these guys.
Yeah.
However, there were three teams for me that I looked at. The Astros, Phillies, and Brewers are on the list for almost all of these guys.
Yep.
That kept resonating with me is they do not have the farm system, the prospect capital, I thought, to really be serious. They have some, guys who cracked cracked the big league roster already. They involved in some trades. I just wasn't sure what for a team like the Diamondbacks, the Pirates, the Oakland A's, teams that are actively trying to rebuild, trying to get young, trying to get the prospect haul. I didn't quite see, where the Brewers, the Phillies, Astros, among others, sort of had the assets to sort of, make that swap. That was my one sort of hang up with that. Because I do I love the fit on the Brewers.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I love it too. And I feel like the Brewers this is where the Brewers could make a play because they don't have that kind of prospect capital to get a lot of other people.
Yeah, that's fair. That is definitely fair. And with that, we're going to move to the middle innings here. And speaking of middle innings, we're going to go with, the pitchers, guys who are tasked with getting through those middle innings. And we're going to talk about the best pitcher you have getting traded before the start of the
best pitcher I have getting traded before the start is Brissett from Oakland. I think he's the one that goes. Yes.
Okay.
I think he goes fast, and I think he goes quick.
Okay, so you have Bassett. So here's my question then. Have a team, or like a set of teams then for him, or?
Oh yeah, okay. So these are the ones making a play. I think the Yankees do make a play because they lose out on Luis Castillo a little bit and Carlos Rendon.
Okay.
So I think they're like, okay, I think that the Yankees make a play for him or Maeda from Oakland too.
Yeah.
But I think Oakland does keep one of them. But I think Brissett gets moved first.
Okay. I like that.
I think the Red Sox do make a play for him too.
Yeah, I can see that.
Red Sox need a little bit. And then I also see the White Sox making a play for him.
I like that. All right. So my thing was I agree with you that Oakland's going to be dealing guys, but I was trying to think to myself, who's the best pitcher that, could be traded? And I think you touched on it slightly with the Cincinnati guys. I think their entire rotation is on the block.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I think those guys are a tick above where, sort of Oakland's pitching, where I have Oakland pitching at. So my guy is a former Yankee. He's a guy Yankee fans are not a big fan of. It's Sonny Gray as the best pitching option to be for the season. And I have him going to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Nice.
Yes. So it's still a relatively affordable contract. It's an expiring contract, or I think he might have a team option or something. The Tampa Bay Rays are always looking for affordability. They're always looking for guys who can come in, veteran contracts, that'll play well. And in particular, I think there's the added, stick it to the Yankees moment there when Sonny Gray comes in and becomes a featured player.
I like it.
Now we're gonna flip over to the best prospects to be traded. And I have pretty much just stemming from, some of the trades I had going on earlier here. I have Jose Ramirez going to the Mariners. And because I have Jose Ramirez going to the Mariners, I have the number 2 prospect in all of baseball, probably, the most, one of the biggest names in terms of popularity and what their bat is looking to translate to the big leagues is Julio Rodriguez. Sorry. I have Julio Rodriguez, the outfielder. Profiles most likely as a right fielder, left fielder. Definitely something the Guardians team is absolutely lacking in their prospect division. They don't have that outfield depth right now. He's a guy, he's 18 years old. Thinking he could make his major league debut in the next year, kind of deal. So he's one of those can't miss guys. But if the Mariners are, trying to make a play for one of these guys, they're going to have to, part ways with him. And I'm going to be honest, I see it as, they're a team with a lot of outfield depth already. Mariners are. I don't totally see the fit for him to stay in Seattle. So moving him for, arguably the best third baseman in baseball.
Yeah, I think I like that. That's a good one. For me, I had CJ Abrams. I think because the Padres do have the depth at shortstop.
Absolutely.
And they're going to need to bolster the bullpen. I think they would part ways with CJ Abrams to make sure that they can actually still compete in that West. They need the bullpen strength, and I think that he would be a huge play for a big arm for him.
I honestly, I can see that. I had him on my list as one of those, sort of fringe guys. I think the only hang up for me is I don't know. I was also thinking they needed a bullpen, but I don't know who the option is via trade.
Yeah. I think that's a trade deadline one, and I think it will shock a lot of people on what arm they use for CJ Abrams.
Maybe Josh Hader. People are saying he might be on the trade block there.
Yeah. Brewers not having the money to hold him, but yeah.
That's an interesting one. That could be a fun one. I think he might be on something there.
It could be.
I really do, actually. All right.
Come back to this because we'll more than likely have an episode before the trade deadline.
Absolutely.
Or on the
circle this. We're gonna have to circle this one and tweet out Alex Coleman. All right. So up next, we're gonna go with the team who you have flat out winning the trade game heading into the season.
Heading into the season, winning the trade game?
Yeah, so who's the team who you think does the best job on the trading block before the season?
I think I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to go with the Yankees. I really think they will be the team out there that wins the trade deadline. If maybe if they do want to make a play.
Oh, absolutely. I like that a lot. I think, I agree to a degree. I think the alternative is going to be the team who I have getting quite a bit of prospect capital back. It's a team who's looking to rebuild Oakland. I think this is a team who realizes that they've sort of hit a ceiling. They're not going to be able to resign these guys. They're moving them I have them moving everyone still with like a year or two in control. Uh, so for me, it's more of a, they're moving these guys at peak value. They're going to get a ton of prospects back, and this is a team who we know they can turn their farm system into tangible stars very quickly.
Fair.
This is a team who can the Yankees forgotten guys. They can take, I have cleaning house up in Toronto. If you're talking about their pitchers getting moved, that's even more prospect capital coming back to them. And I can see, the Oakland A's just overnight developing the number one because
Yes.
of all the pieces that they have. So it's a easy one there. And speaking of, the Oakland A's were a contender and now they're blowing it up. So we're going to exclude them from this part. Aside from the Oakland A's,
Yes.
if you had to pick one team who could sort of shock everyone here and start blowing things up via trade, just sort of hit the reset and say, you know what? We don't feel as good about our chances right now as we once did. Who do you got?
The Giants.
Oh, I like that.
I think they are in contention in the West, and then all of a sudden one injury, and I think they blow it up.
I could definitely see that.
You pull the pin and just let it go.
Yeah. So I actually just talked about them in sort of high regard a minute ago, getting a guy, but I look at a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, who have been at the top of their division, who have been to the sort of mountaintop. They were just in the World Series 2020. They have a lot of young guys. They just signed Wander Franco for the foreseeable future. That's their corner piece. They got a lot more guys in the farm system on their way to the bigs. I just, the AL East, I'm sorry, is going to be a very hotly contended division. The Red Sox are there. The Yankees are there. The Blue Jays are knocking at the door. If there was a time to sort of say, hey, you know what? We can just take a slight step back, trade a guy like Glass now is going to be interesting. Move some of their pieces like G-Man Choi, Mike Zunino, who they're not going to be able to re-sign behind the plate, sort of at peak value after what he did last year. There's going to be a few of these options where, the calls will be there, and I'm curious to see if the Rays calls. Curious to see if these guys, you know what? Let's just wait for the current Yankees, current Red Sox to sort of fall apart again. That point.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like that pick.
Okay. So now we're going to go into our boldest trade prediction. So I want your boldest, like this is going to happen, and when it happens, you called it, you saw this one coming from far enough away. What do you got for me?
I'm gonna stick with it. C.J. Abrams.
Wow. Okay, I like that one. Sticking to it.
I'm gonna stick with it.
So I'm gonna go with something you sort of touched on, and I guess the writing's kind of on the wall with what where I had some of these guys going. I have the New York Yankees addressing all of their needs via the trade. Pitching, maybe, they sign a couple, maybe sign a starter, maybe sign a couple of bullpen arms. However, I have them touching the three major positions of need: first base, shortstop, center field, all via trade. And I have my guys circled for each. I have Matt Olson playing first. I got El Marte out in center. And at shortstop, I think there's a slew of, sort of, guys who would not be terribly difficult to acquire via the trade. You got guys like Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in Texas.
Yeah.
You have a guy like Adalberto Mondesi in Kansas City right now. You have J.P. Crawford in Seattle. So you have a number of these sort of, they could be on the block for the right price kind of guys. And also they fit the window because once the arbitration years are up in 2-3 years, whatever it is, that's when the Yankees, top shortstop prospects are looking to crack the ceiling. And sort of in how I have this going down, those are the only things the Yankees aren't. The Yankees are bottoming out their farm system to make a play, but they're keeping the two shortstop prospects in the hope that one of them becomes a guy to take over after this guy.
Yeah.
That's sort of where I see the Yankees going with this. So that's my bold prediction.
Nice. I like it.
Bang, bang, big trades for the Yankees. Everybody thought it was going to be the free agent market, but this ties into our next thing because in terms of the wildest rumors that we think we'll hear, I'm going to start this one off because I have two. I'm going to have one as we approach the start of the season. I mean, we've heard little rumblings of this, but I can see this really taking shape. If Aaron Judge has not been offered or signed to a long-term extension as we approach the start of spring training and free agency,
Yeah.
I believe we are going to hear a lot of Yankees are shopping Judge rumors.
Yeah.
I think the way they sort of circumvent that is by the trade, because then you have all these guys still on their arbitration years waiting for it, and you're able to, sort of not have to worry about giving Judge whatever he wants. But I have that, and then I have the Atlanta Braves prematurely flirting with a trade option for Matt Olson. So before Freddie Freeman even inks paper with anyone, either the Braves or anyone else, I have the rumor flying that they have reached out to the Oakland A's about bringing a Georgia boy home with Matt Olson.
Wow.
I have him ultimately going to the Yankees, but I sort of just I have them playing a little bit of defense in the event that Freeman does opt to go to LA or New York, which is something we talked about last time. But that's the other big one.
I like it.
Their front office does not hold water. Leak that hey we might be going in a different direction. Burn him before he burns us, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
All right. Wildest rumors. I did have a Yankee one. I have Zach Britton. I think you'll hear his name a lot, but I don't think he'll actually go anywhere. I think the Yankees will retain him at least. But then I also have Jose Abreu.
Wow.
Yes, I think that'll be a rumor that we'll hear. Oh, Chicago takes a little slide, or are they tanking? Are they gonna want to get rid of some people for cap? So yes, I have Jose Abreu's name going out there.
That's an
this rumor.
2020 AL MVP Jose Abreu on a team. I'm gonna be honest. If you call that one, that's your bold prediction, and I'll take that. Dear God, that is wild. Sleeper one I had.
I don't think it gets moved, but I think his name flutters.
All right, ready? Here's a sleeper one I had. Okay, and this is stemming from the NBA trades that have just gone down and stuff, and the whole Brooklyn Nets, James Harden being unhappy and all that stuff. I was thinking to myself, all right, guys in baseball sort of have that personality of, hey, I see what they're doing over in the NBA. Maybe I want to make some noise and get out of here. All right. I have a lot of guys in our free agent episode going to the Philadelphia Phillies. If they don't, I could see the Bryce Harper, I'm unhappy and want to go rumor. Yes. 11 years left on his contract.
Yes, I like that.
11 years, and this man is going to say, you know what? I know I said Philly for 13, but man, they're not helping me. I could see that happening.
Yep.
And then I'd be curious to see if baseball, sort of goes down the NBA rabbit hole of guys asking for trades and, doing the unhappy superstar thing. I'd be curious. It's an interesting.
We'll see what happens.
But if there's ever a guy to start it, that's my guy.
I think he would be up there for sure.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So now we're going to move over right now, and we're going to go to we're going to, go to our post game. All right. And we're moving through this one quickly, but there's a reason we're doing it because I know this post game is about to get very messy very quickly. So you guys know what we do here. Each week we take turns. This week it's going to be me. I'm going to give a props to somebody who's bald, and, Alex is going to call bull. So I'm going to start this one off. Changed it up slightly from our production meeting earlier, and I'm going to give props to a team and this is going to tie into your thing, but I'm going to give props to a team. One of the sort of issues on the table with the whole CBA right now is to avoid tanking. And I'm going to give props to a team who has managed to compile baseball's current fifth best MLB pipeline system, fifth best farm system, while continuing to be a contender. They haven't had to spend a lot of money, but because they've paid the right guys. That's the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, I just said in a different breath that I see them maybe starting to blow it up, but they have been a perennial contender while still building one of the best farm systems in baseball consistently. And the only reason it dropped to fifth is because they just graduated Shane McClanahan, Wander Franco. So they're bringing people up. That's the only reason they dropped that low.
Yeah.
But they have managed to just amass so much talent in the farm system while still fielding a competitive ball club. And if that is not sort of the blueprint for all of these sort of small market teams, especially in an era where we might see a sort of a salary floor for MLB teams, what they have to spend. The Tampa Bay Rays are the blueprint. Now, this is what we because they're fielding the competitive and they are still doing their part to make sure that they're going to be much longer time. I like what they've done a lot.
Yes, I do. That's a good one. That's a good one. You gotta chalk it up to them, man. They've been doing it consistently
for sure. And it's hard to do with Yankees. It's hard to sort of give a nod and
Yeah.
I think, you got to give props. They've been whooping some Yankee ass for the better part of the decade.
Now, someone not to give props to, because I'm calling bull.
Oh God, this is where it's going to get rough.
Rob Manfred, how dare you
come out on
Wednesday and say we'll have a proposal for you on Saturday? You have Thursday and Friday, my friend. Get off air, go into the meeting, and just tell the owners, hey, what do you guys want to do here? All right, dude, this is not a commissioner of baseball. He is a puppet, public head figure, and I hate it. Get out. Fire Manfred.
I'm going to be honest.
I'm calling bull on this. No, this is ridiculous. You come to Saturday and you only sit there for an hour and we don't get nothing done. Basically nothing. Nothing was accomplished.
I just got to throw this out there. I got to stop you for a second.
Over 100 players were there, man. Come on.
I got to throw this out there. This has to be noted. This is the third episode.
Over it.
This is the third episode of this podcast. And Rob Manfred has already had bull called on him twice. So I'm just throwing that out there. He's going to be an all-time kind of no bull, just ball guy. I'm realizing he's going to be.
He's going to be a no ball. The time he balls is when he finally fires. I will call ball on MLB for getting rid of this clown. Marcus Stroman topped it off, calling him a clown. Get him out.
Yeah, this is a rough one.
How can you sit next to this man and support him?
Look, I'm just saying, I'm going to throw this out there. One of my favorite quotes coming out of that meeting is, "It wasn't as bad as it could have been." One of my favorite quotes from this. One, I think it's a testament to just how far we've sunk and how far away we actually are from a deal getting done.
It's ridiculous. That's why
I'm a positivity guy. I'm a half glass full guy. And I'm really holding out hope here, but yeah, no, this is ridiculous.
No, I'm gonna start a Twitter poll. What comes first, my new son or the spring training game? And
I was gonna say, wait, you are late. What are we at? Like 3-4 weeks away from your child's birth? I'm gonna be honest. I think that's winning by a landslide, because this is rough now. This is
I don't know.
These two sides are just very, very far away. And like I said, I think
it's not like the players are asking for too much. They're not.
I think the issue is the players have been so screwed in the past with what they've agreed to on these past few CBAs, the talks, over the pandemic. I think they've put themselves in such a hole that are they asking for anything crazy? to the casual fan who's reading this, you're going, no, this isn't ridiculous. A livable wage for players, before they're able to get that big paycheck. I don't think it's crazy. Being able to sort of contend with other sports in terms of like baseball still making its money.
It is. No, they are.
Major League Baseball is not, let's not lie about the circumstances right now. They're getting paid. The teams are making their money. They're hitting their marks, and there has not been an issue. So
For years.
still, yeah, for the players to still not be, taking those leaps in terms of compensation, it's kind of disgusting at a certain point. It's kind of ridiculous.
As well as when you're taking away some minor league team affiliates
Yeah,
as well. You're cutting
yeah,
them.
no. They're
So why don't you just use that money and actually just give these guys the housing? Because if they got to sign a lease rent and then
yeah,
they got to pay two rents now because you traded the guy, I think that's just a little ridiculous. There
like
is no
we're
reason.
at a situation where Major League Baseball, not for nothing, to use our name, to use our podcast name a little bit here, it's kind of bold, but they're definitely holding the players by the balls right now. They are
And they have been for
really,
years.
yeah.
So many
It's
years.
it's such an uphill battle that I'm gonna be honest, the players, if there's ever a time for the players to take this stand and just say, hey, we need sort of a level playing field here. This is it. It sucks because as fans, we want to watch baseball. We want to get excited about this again. We want, I think in my perfect world, today's a Super Bowl Sunday. Monday after the Super Bowl, they were going to come out and just announce, hey, we came to an agreement. We're going to have a flurry of signings. We're going to have all of the trades going down. And unless,
I like your
I,
optimism.
huh?
I like your optimism.
I really thought that
I love
that
it.
made so much sense in my
You
head.
give me hope, Nick. You give me hope.
It just made so much sense in my head. All right, football's done, basketball's in that weird sort of lull period at the midseason. It's dragging a little bit. You just had the trade deadline, all that stuff. All right, I'm looking at it now and going, if there was ever a time for baseball to capitalize on just this lull,
You know,
this would have been it. This would have been the week
but they don't know how to market themselves, so
no,
it's not
not at
gonna happen.
all. It's
It's
horrible.
it's gonna be. They're gonna come back when they're talking about and try to compete with the NFL draft, and it's not gonna happen.
It's one of those things I don't understand what we're doing here.
Yeah, nope.
And
I don't understand.
this is another thing that I was thinking about recently in regards to all of this, man. You talk about owners voting unanimously to lock players out and stuff. Owners still being sort of this united front. I look at some of the guys who are owners of major league teams now. I'm looking at Derek Jeter being part of an ownership group with the Miami Marlins, and I understand he's not the sole owner, but
Yeah,
as the face of the ownership group, I don't understand how you are now so vehemently against the players getting their. I
yeah,
don't understand, out in LA, same concept, different sport he was originally from. Magic Johnson's the face of the ownership group for the
yeah.
LA Dodgers. You are a player in another sport. How are you suddenly so vehemently opposed to players getting their due, players getting their compensation, they're getting their, level playing field here?
It's
I'm not under.
politics, man. Once you're an owner, it's a whole different game. You
I,
ain't even on the field. You know what I'm saying? It's business though. You got and that's what athletes are good businessmen. You have to
for
separate. You
sure,
know what I'm
but
saying?
it's just I just I'm
They got it. They're in that clique now. They
But then here's my thing is how then do we now move to a situation where even once this gets sort of shaken out and settled, how are you as players returning to these clubhouses, looking ownership in the face, sitting down in these contract negotiations and looking at these dudes and realizing, shit, 3 weeks ago you were still trying to keep me under.
Yep.
Like how, those are going to be very uncomfortable folks. Those are going to be that's going to be a rough return to work.
I mean, for Super Bowl Sunday, what do you think Tom Brady and Belichick's conversations were? They don't even speak anymore.
And that's the thing
But
is, it's how do you know, I see this and should be told, as optimistic as I'm trying to be about, I in the back of my head, I'm saying, you know what, they're just doing this for show at this point. Rob Manfred and Tony Clark are currently out having dinner. They're getting many petties. They're
Yes.
relaxing at the
No,
spot because they
he
already
was
got something
smirking
settled.
the entire time.
I'm
That's why he
firmly,
was head of my bullshit button.
I'm trying to believe it. I really am. But
Well,
I just look at it and say, not for nothing, there's a good chance the ugliness between these two sides have not started yet.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the players just did this whole, hashtag campaign again, which did not go well for them. Was it during the start of the pandemic? Whereas, tell me, give me a time and date, whatever the hashtag was about, just tell me where to show up and I'm ready. And then the team said, okay, show up this date and play. And the players went, oh, wait a minute, we didn't get what we wanted. So we're going to get a whole lot of that still.
Yes.
I'm
Definitely.
going to be honest. One of the things that I'm shocked Manfred didn't do in that press conference is say, all right, lockout's done. We're just going to operate on the old CBA until we work something new out. Let's get all these players signed and back on the field. And he just turn the court of public opinion out against the players. I'm surprised that it didn't happen. That's really what I was waiting to.
That makes a whole bunch of sense.
Like that's what I was waiting for.
That's why they wouldn't do it. Unions do it all the time. I used to work for a couple,
Yeah,
they do it all the time. They'll work on the old agreement so we can still stay working and get the dues and get everything flowing.
I completely agree. But here's the thing is, I'm going to be honest, that would have been a smart play for the ownership right now of, hey, so I know we were the assholes who said we can't continue working. We're going to lock everyone out until we finish this out. But you know what? We realize we're getting close to the time. Let's do it. And now you force the players to turn it from a lockout to a strike because their demands have not been met yet. You did this whole public display of you guys can't be here. Now
you're asking the owners to recant their original stance, and they're not going to do that because they're owners.
Oh no, but I look at it and I say, at that point, if you're the ownership group, you're saying, hey, you know what? We're going to be the heroes to the fans. We're going to be the guys who, you're looking at the fans and going, hey, you know what? We're opening our doors. Let those players back in. Let's get ready for spring training. Let's get you that product that you want.
Okay.
And I don't understand how they didn't do that. It's not for nothing. That would have been the easiest thing for owners to do right now is just say, hey,
especially the way the media is now.
Let's get these exactly the fan perspective. I think for a lot of fans, they would have turned on the players quick. All right, the doors are open. This is what you wanted. Why are you not back?
Especially the Twitter fingers, man.
It would have been insane. And then you would have, and what I will say is, there's a situation where you create a more tumultuous atmosphere between the two sides at that point, because now you're turning public opinion, you're trying to wage war in the media, which I still think there's a good chance it happens just in a different capacity. But I think these are two sides who are still very, very far apart. And that's what I'm realizing, the biggest thing for the players right now is they want competitive balance. And I think as fans, it's something we should all want also.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, we're Yankee fans. We don't really love the idea of competitive balance. We like our team having a stranglehold. But that being said, I look at, as a baseball fan, I want Yankees Orioles to be not for nothing. I want to watch. I want Sunday night baseball when they give me those weird Pirates versus Diamondbacks matchups or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to watch it and think to myself, damn, this is still an interesting ball game. These are teams competing for something. These are teams who want to be here.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And I don't understand why, I just think there's so much more money in it for both sides. Yeah. But I think you're
more fans in the seats. I mean,
yeah, I think that works.
That's where your money comes from is the fans, more merchandise being sold.
When all of a sudden you have these teams who are forced to spend the money to compete, and I understand the owners' hesitation, especially the small market guys who don't want to spend the money. They just want to push out, the bullshit product. Look at the Orioles, look at the Pirates, look at the Diamondbacks. Well, the Diamondbacks have spent some money; they've just done it bad. But look at the Rockies. Look at there's a host of teams doing this, and they're getting away with it for years on end.
I just want to say the city of Pittsburgh, because I see it on your head, city of Pittsburgh. And they've been doing it terribly.
Yeah.
The city of Pittsburgh know more names of Pitt University's football team than they actually do the MLB Pittsburgh Pirates team.
Yeah,
I
it's
bet you
sickening.
you go quiz the people of Pittsburgh, they will know more people on the Pittsburgh out of the ACC than the MLB.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And the shame of the matter is, ready at the start of this thing, we're talking about a guy like Brian Reynolds, who is not for nothing. He's a young star.
Mm-hmm.
He still has 2, 3 years of team control, whatever it is, left on his deal after this. And we're already talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates trying to get out from under this.
Yeah.
That is baffling. A
If you
year
look
from
at
now, if things stay as they are, a year from now, was it last year's Rookie of the Year or Rookie of the Year runner up to Brian Hayes?
Yep, he'll
We're
be
going to
another
be
one.
talking about him in a
Yep.
year going, all right, so which team is going to take 3 years of Brian Hayes away from the Pirates? And it's just how do we stop this? How do we get an end to it?
And that's
Because
what the
I'm
players
not, despite what my hat says, I'm not actually a Pirates fan.
no.
But I do want to see a day when these guys are forced to compete, when these guys are out there putting the best team forward.
Yep.
And you're giving young guys opportunities and stuff, and that is great. But keep them there when they start succeeding. Stop shipping them off for the next, bag of chips and a Slim Jim. This doesn't.
Because you don't want to give them the dollar that they deserve as they're competing at a high level.
Yeah, this
I mean,
is
that's
it is
essentially
rough. And I'm gonna be honest. This is again, I'd be interested to see what the more casual baseball fan feels about it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we do one of these days is, sort of bring on sort of the more sort of middle of the pack baseball fan and just sort of see where their head is at with all this stuff. But for guys who, like us, who are very into it, very, sort of in the trenches of what the deals look like, where everybody stands right now, it's kind of sickening.
Yeah.
To be honest.
With you.
I think that's the reason why I'm trying to avoid CBA talk on this podcast to a degree is, I want to talk about the good thing about when it's all done and we can break it down but not for nothing. If we're gonna be doing this for a while, we might have to really just spend an hour just
we almost just did.
I was just gonna say, you know what? So let's do ourselves a favor. We'll cool it there and I guess save it for another day because I mean Super Bowl's coming up. I'd like to be able to have a good time with it. What do you got tonight?
Who do I got? I got the Rams. I'm
Okay.
taking the Rams. I just think that defense is ready to play. Defense wins championships. And I mean, Von Miller, Aaron Darnold, they've been there. They're hungry. I think it is going to come down to whose trenches are more solidified, hungrier, stronger. And I think on both sides, it's going to be the Rams.
Okay, ready? Here's a question. Our baseball pod. Do they show either a current or former Major League Baseball player in the stands during the live broadcast at one?
Over under?
No, just tell me. We'll set the over under at half a player. We get Mookie Betts' shoulder. I don't.
I think we don't get one. I don't think they'll show no other player.
See, I was just gonna say, it's happened a couple times.
I don't think it'll be a current one. I think it might be like an older one. Like, oh my God, A-Rod's there. Like when they did it at Pittsburgh, or when they did it when he was in Green Bay.
Okay.
I'm
gonna try to be optimistic and say, we get him. But the disheartening thing for me, and I guess no, I don't want to end it on that thing. I was gonna say the disheartening thing for me was we got Mookie Betts at the it wasn't Rams Niners, it was who did they play before the Niners? It was Rams versus who was their opening round matchup?
Arizona.
And we got Mookie Betts in the crowd next to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and the graphic only said Kawhi Leonard and Paul George with Mookie Betts sitting between, and it wasn't not for the announcers. I don't think anybody would have recognized it. Oh my God!
And that's LA, bro. That's terrible.
It's sickening. It is horrible.
They should be able to recognize Mookie like that.
Yeah, look, man, that's a whole different issue, man. We need to fix a lot of. But we're gonna end it on another positive. All right. Okay. So we're gonna look at right now the Maybe the NFL does the whole I'm going to Disney World, I'm going to Disneyland thing when you win the Super Bowl. Major
Yeah.
League Baseball, all right, team wins it. Where should they be going to? You know,
Hmm.
you get Freddie Freeman screaming after the Braves just won it. Where do you want him saying he's going?
Legoland. I'm
I
going to
like it.
Legoland.
On a Legoland. Oh, that's such a good one. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. I want the at that point. I'm waging war. I want all the smoke. I'm saying I'm going to Universal.
Oh no.
I
Oh,
want the smoke with Disney. I want that money. I
no.
want the Universal money. Come on, let's do it.
Oh, I love it.
All right, man. So it has been real. It has been nice. It has been real nice. Enjoyed the Super Bowl tonight, sir, and all
You
the
as
fans
well.
watching at home. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you check us out when you're looking for a break from it. Any parting words, sir?
Stay breezy.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.